UFC is back in Abu Dhabi for a card. Not the best card, not the worst card. Regardless, I'm going to go through it, give you guys the notes and style of every single fighter, as well as my best bets and prediction for every single fight. If you guys want the full betting recap, go and fast forward to this part of the video. Let's get into it. First fight on the card, Cody Gibson and Abdul Hussein. Cody Gibson, he originally signed to the UFC in 2014, went 1-3 and then got cut. Then he goes on a decent run on the regional scene, goes on The Ultimate Fighter. He makes it to the finale where he loses. Since then, he's gone 2-3. He's gotten finished in his last two fights. I believe his last fight, he got finished in about 20 seconds. His style. He's an experienced mixed martial artist that wants to pressure forward and immediately impose his game on his opponents. He just doesn't quite have the skill to do that. He'll blitz in, fire overhands, maybe get lucky, might land one, might not. Either way, he's going to pressure you immediately. Mix in level changes every now and then. His opponent, Abdul Hussein, he's a 28-year-old, 15-2 pro fighter from the regional scene. His last loss was in 2021, actually, where he faced Magomed Zaynukov, who is one of the best flyweights on the planet. He took him to a decision and lost via decision. He is riding an 8-fight win streak, and all of those wins come by finish within 2 rounds. His style, he's a really talented fighter, has some pro boxing bouts, and it shows up in his game. He kind of has that boxing stance style, but he's also very skilled on the ground, has great grappling IQ, tons of submission ability. He's won with submissions in the past. My prediction for this one, go ahead and give me Abdul Hussein to get it done via round 1 submission. I think he's better where the fight goes, to be quite honest. Cody Gibson's probably going to try and pressure forward and impose his game immediately, and it's probably not going to work. He's done it the last 2 fights. He's been finished the last 2 times. Maybe he comes in a bit more conservative, but I see this one just kind of going similarly to Cody Gibson's last couple of fights. Abdul Hussein's not bad. He's a good prospect. I like this fight to go under 1.5 rounds just because of the style clash between these two. At plus 105, Abdul Hussein, like I said, his last 8 fights have ended within the first 2 rounds, and then a Hussein finish at minus 190. He's a pretty big favorite here, so I think getting him via finish to kind of bump down that money line value to minus 190 is a pretty good fight. Cody Gibson can get it done. He's a more experienced fighter. He's got that going for him, but that's about it. I like Abdul Hussein to get this one done via round 1 sub. Next up is Nurullo Aliev and Mike Davis. Nurullo Aliev, he's an 11-0 undefeated prospect with an 82% decision rate, so not great there. He has 3 fights in the UFC so far. His most recent fight was a win against Shamrock that has aged fairly poorly. His style, he's a combat sambo fighter with pretty boring, hold you up against the cage style. Solid everywhere, but not above average anywhere. His gas tank, striking, and submission ability are all just fairly decent. Nothing has really shined. He hasn't dominated any of his wins in the UFC despite being 11-0. He's one of the more benign undefeated prospects, I guess. His opponent, Mike Davis, joins UFC in 2019, debuts with a loss to Gilbert Burns, but then proceeded to go 5-1 with his only loss outside of the Gilbert Burns loss being to Fares Ziam, who is, of course, a ranked fighter and a very good fighter at lightweight. Mike Davis himself is one of the better unranked guys at 155. He's easily a top 20 lightweight. Has struggled, though, against the upper, I don't want to say upper echelon because he has good wins, but there's a certain threshold that he struggles to pass. His style, physically strong grappler, can ragdoll his opponents. He has great hip strength, just great overall strength. He is a well-built guy. And on the feet, he throws with good accuracy and power, but isn't always the cleanest or the most technical. My prediction for this one, I actually like Mike Davis. And at underdog money at plus 185, I think this is great value. It's going to be a close one for sure. Like, Nurullo Aliev is good. He's skilled everywhere. He's not going to make it easy by any means. But I think Mike Davis is just so much more aggressive. He's not going to let Nurullo Aliev control the pace of the fight. He's not going to let him hold him up against the cage. He's going to fire in shots with a lot more aggression and violence. I think he's just, I don't want to say he's not better everywhere the fight goes because there are aspects of Nurullo Aliev's game where he'll probably be better. But I think just the overall violence and urgency of Mike Davis is going to create Nurullo Aliev some adversity that I'm not sure he's going to be able to overcome. So I like Mike Davis to get it done via round 2 TKO. The fight to go over 1.5 rounds makes plenty of sense at minus 400. And a Mike Davis money line, he is the underdog. I love that at plus 185. So give me his underdog money there. Muhammad Tukalov and Brennison Ribeiro. Muhammad Tukalov, he's 6-0 undefeated fighter from UAE Warriors. Going to notice a lot of UAE Warriors guys making their debut here today. He has a 100% finishing rate and 4 round 1 knockouts. He's making his UFC debut. His style, stands pretty flat-footed, has this Muay Thai stance, but has really nasty KO power on the feet. Heavy as a grappler and great ground and pound ability. This guy's head kicks are pretty nasty as well. His opponent, Brennison Ribeiro, he went 14-5 on the regional scene, gets a round 1 finish on the Contender Series and a contract. Joins the UFC and has been just a complete victim. He's gone 2-5 so far, getting finished 4 times in round 1 alone. His style, bad chin, bad heart, bad defensive wrestling, weak overall stand-up. Has good jiu-jitsu offensively, can be a tricky guard to enter, has some good submission ability, but outside of that, nothing quite redeeming about Brendison Ribeiro. My prediction for this one, give me a Magomed Ankalaev to get it done via round 1 TKO. Ankalaev in round 1 is minus 145. Like, that's how big of a favorite he is. If we're shooting for a high value straight here, I think a Brendison Ribeiro sub at plus 1650. Plus 1650 is not bad. Ribeiro is good at jiu-jitsu. That's kind of his only redeeming quality, I guess. But I think this should be a pretty easy debut. Round 1 KO for Ankalaev. Ribeiro's just a can. He's not very UFC worthy. He's probably on the brink of getting cut. He's going to have to find a lucky submission to win. It's MMA, so anything can happen. That's why I think the high value straight at plus 1650 works. But again, I think it should be a pretty easy round 1 finish for Magomed Ankalaev. Next up, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Sam Patterson. Santiago Ponzinibbio went 18-1 on the regional scene, then goes on the Ultimate Fighter, loses in the finale, rattles off 7 straight wins, even beats Neil Magny, which that is a tough win if you know your stuff. He has been 3-6, losing to pretty good comp, but he is definitely nearing the end of his career. He also trains out of American Top Team as well. His style, he's a scrapper on the feet. As he ages, he seems to be losing the speed and overall movement skills, but he still has his power. He will mix in level changes every now and then to keep his opponent honest, but he's going to try and keep the fight standing and just scrap it out on the feet. His opponent, Sam Patterson, he went 9-1 on the regionals, then gets a finish on the Contender Series, loses his debut, but then went on a 4-fight round 1 finish streak before coming up 4 significant strikes short against Michael Venom Page. As we all know, Michael Venom Page has kind of touched him a couple times and danced around the octagon, was 1 strike ahead throughout the round. It was a pretty terrible fight, but Sam Patterson just couldn't quite get anything going. His style, tall, lengthy, well-rounded fighter with finishing ability everywhere the fight goes. He uses his range and patience to his advantage, but does not move all that well defensively, does not check leg kicks very well, doesn't move his head off the center line as much as he should. But he can fight off the back foot really well, and I think that's going to benefit him a lot in this one. My prediction for this one, I'll take Sam Patterson to get it down via round 3 TKO. I just think Sam Patterson is going to fry him with the jab here. Just like he did to D-Rod not that long ago, I'm sorry, just like Ponzinibbio got fried with the jabs from D-Rod, I think Sam Patterson's going to kind of do him the same way. He's lengthier, moves better than D-Rod. If the fight hits the mat, I also favor Sam Patterson there, though. I see more of a low-ish output fight where Sam Patterson just kind of slowly takes over and eventually finds a late round finish. Maybe a decision, maybe a second round finish, late second round finish, but I think Sam Patterson's just going to slowly take this one over. Work off his jab, stay at range, and just kind of piece up Ponzinibbio. Maybe Ponzinibbio gets impatient. Either way, Sam Patterson money line at minus 500, and then a Sam Patterson finish at minus 245 is a great way to kind of cut that value in half. I like both of those bets. So yeah, give me Sam Patterson, get it done via round 3 finish. An interesting matchup between 2 pretty good kickboxers, Dustin Jacoby and Magomed Zaynukov. Justin Jacoby, he went from MMA to Glory Kickboxing, then back to MMA. Got a win in the Contender Series. Since rejoining the UFC, he's 10-4-1, only ever losing a high-level comp, but is riding a 3-fight win streak. Always seems to struggle, though, to fight how he should, regardless of his opponent. He does have an L to Alex Pereira in Glory Kickboxing as well. His style, powerful kickboxer with the ability to end the fight with 1 punch at any point in the fight. And like I said, he's had trouble staying consistent, though. Has never had to deal with high-level grappling, so the takedown defense, I guess, is good. It's always looked to be solid, but he's never had to face a super high-level grappling threat. I don't think he's going to be facing one on Saturday either. His opponent, Magomed Zaynukov, 9-0 undefeated prospect, 8 finishes, and you guessed it, he's from UA Warriors as well. He's making his UFC debut. His style, he's a powerful striker with lethal hooks and impressive high kicks. Was not crazy about his overall cardio or inability to check leg kicks, but the power this guy possesses is real. He's putting these guys to sleep on the regional scene. It's honestly not even fair. My prediction for this one, this is tough. This is tough because there's a lot of unknowns with Zaynukov. On one hand, I think he's just a really, really solid prospect. And then on the other hand, I just think Justin Jacoby is on another level. I am going to go with Dustin Jacoby to get it done via round 2 KO. The fight to end in a KO at minus 140 makes pretty good sense. Both these guys are power punchers. We've seen fights like this that kind of look like this going in. Two big power punchers, kickboxers, and then the fight doesn't quite play out how you think it will. I do think this one's going to end in KO. I like Dustin Jacoby's money line at minus 170. What I'm kind of leaning into and favoring here is just the fact that Dustin Jacoby has had so much more experience, not only in mixed martial arts, but also the kickboxing experience that he has. It's going to help him be prepared for this one against Saidov, who I don't think poses an immense grappling threat. So give me Dustin Jacoby, get it done via round 2 KO, and probably look to fight up. Probably around a 10-ish ranked fighter, light heavyweight, because Dustin Jacoby's on a pretty good roll so far. I like him to get it done via finish in this one. Here comes Walter. He's hunting for a 5th in a row. Will he get it? I don't quite know. I don't know. I think there's a decent chance, but regardless, Walter Walker and Thomas Peterson is up next. Walter Walker, he was a regional scene champ before coming to the UFC, where he debuted with an L, but since then he's been on a 4-fight round 1 submission streak, all by heel hook. He is also the younger brother of Johnny Walker. This guy's a great character. He's made some pretty decent media appearances so far. The video with Zaynukov, and then if you guys get a chance, please watch him and Thomas Peterson's interview they did with Jaden Cable. If you were just watching, you think these two are just best friends and two goofy guys that are not about to have a fist fight at all. His style, though, heel hook, heel hook, heel hook. Probably should have said heel hook 4 times because that's how many he's gotten in a row. He's an athletic heavyweight with very strong BJJ, clearly. This guy's heel hook is his submission specialty. Feels like everybody knows it's coming, but can they stop it? He is pretty powerful on the feet, but very reckless as well. Kind of blitzes in, will shoot takedowns from way far away. Sloppy at times, and it's tough to also break down his game because so many of his fights just immediately hit the ground and he's immediately hunting for a heel hook. Like, he gets these things pretty fast. It's not like he's working at them. Like, they've all come in round 1 with relative ease as well. So it's tough to break down his overall game, but his opponent, Thomas Peterson, won on the Contender Series via finish from the regional scene, where he had actually pretty high finishing rate over in the regional scene. Joins the UFC and has been pretty win-loss with 0 finishes so far. And he's a nice fella. Like I said, go watch a Jaden Cable interview. You'll be a fan of this guy. Thomas the Train Peterson. His style, a bit of an undersized blob that's good at wrestling and showcase ground and pound on the regional scene, but since he's gone to the UFC, it's just kind of not there. Does not move well on the feet and kind of does nothing but stay in the clinch and try and land takedowns. He got pieced up by Guilherme Pat for like a round and a half, and Guilherme Pat is terrible. He struggles to overcome his size advantage, kind of has to get in close and do all his work there. My prediction for this one, go ahead and give me Walter Walker to get it done via round 1 submission. I'm taking him to get the 5th heel hook in a row. I don't know. Thomas Peterson actually is a pretty solid wrestler. Will it equate to solid takedown defense? And will he be able to stop the heel hook immediately? Probably immediately. Will he be able to stop it throughout the course of 15 minutes? I don't know. Walter Walker on the feet is still probably better than Thomas Peterson as well. The size advantage for Walter Walker in this one is huge. Walter Walker is 6'6", Thomas Peterson 6'1". Thomas Peterson clearly struggles to overcome a size disadvantage. So I like Walter Walker pretty much everywhere in this one. I do worry he's going to get a bit heel hook happy, maybe shoot in for takedowns that aren't there, or just, have him hurt and then jump on his heel for some reason. We'll see, but this is a fun storyline going into this one. Will he get a 5th straight heel hook? I think if you can get a heel hook exact outcome, whatever the value is in that, it's going to be great. It's probably going to be in the +5 or 600s. Go ahead and throw 5 on that. Peterson under on significant strikes. I don't think he's going to touch Walter Walker a whole lot in this one. Hopefully that doesn't age poorly, but I just see Thomas Peterson kind of getting his ass kicked. I like Walter Walker's money line at -185 is really great value in the fight under 2 rounds. To be at -150 is good value as well. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm missing something here, but I just am not very high on Thomas Peterson, and I actually am higher than Walter Walker than a lot of others are. So give me him to get it done via round 1 submission and get his 5th straight heel hook victory. Already has the world record at 4. Will he extend it at 5? Let's find out. I think he'll do it. This is a really good fight. Ishmael Bonfim and Axel Sola is up next. Ishmael Bonfim had a solid undefeated regional scene run, gets a win on the Contender Series, and then beats Terrence McKinney in his UFC debut with a nasty flying knee where he flatlined Terrence McKinney. It's a great win. Yes, Terrence McKinney's pretty 50-50 up and down, but if you look at what he's done up to this point in his career, it's a solid win. Since then, though, he's gone 1-3, getting finished through all 3 times in all 3 of his losses. He is the brother of welterweight prospect Gabriel Bonfim as well. His style, bit of an undersized guy, uses his speed and counter-striking to overcome his size disadvantage really well. Great hand speed and footwork as well. The overall speed, it's not just the hands, it's not just the feet. He moves very well in all facets of his game. He's a well-rounded guy with decent power, but overall durability is a concern with him. Like I said, he has been finishing all 3 of his losses, had a nasty cut under his eye that he got a doctor stoppage loss, ate some bad shots from BSD, got submitted there. It's just been a problem throughout his career. His opponent, Axel Sola, undefeated fighter from the regional scene. He was a champion Aries FC, debuts with a KO win in September, and then loses a potential fight of the year against Mason Jones. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen, and without him being one half of that fight, it wouldn't have been nearly as good. He used to fight at 170 and is now down at 155, where he looks a lot better and looks pretty big too. It's not like he's this lengthy, non-filled out guy. Like, he actually is pretty filled out and looks to have pretty good size for the division. His style, fluid, athletic striker with a great chin and cardio, but has struggled against constant pressure, especially in the last fight against Mason Jones. I think you saw him. He was made uncomfortable fairly easy in that fight. But regardless, he trains with a lot of high-level grapplers. He's improving that level of his game. He did show some pretty good grappling, takedown defense, shot a couple of his own takedowns in that fight as well. My prediction for this one, I'll take Axel Sola to get it done via round 3 KO. Sola moneyline at -220. This is probably one of my favorite value picks of the entire card, just moneyline wise and outcome wise. I'm a big Axel Sola guy ever since the Mason Jones fight. Despite him losing that fight, the stuff that he displayed in that fight, the chin, the heart, I think Bonfim will have the lighter man skill. If you think he's going to move a lot faster, just be in and out, not get touched, that's probably his path to victory, is just kind of taking it over the course of 3 rounds. But I think the pace that Axel Sola can keep up with, I think the overall durability of Axel Sola, as well as just the overall skill, I just favor Axel Sola to get it done. The size advantage will be big for him in this one. Give me him to get it done via round 3 KO. And at -220, I like the value as well. Got to take it slow with these two. Abukar Vagayev versus Said Isakhmaev. Abukar, he's an experienced mixed martial artist, has almost 30 professional fights on the regional scene where he became a champ, I think in UAE Warriors as well. I'll have to double check. But in 24 wins, he has 19 decisions. And that is most likely why he has had 30 professional fights without reaching the UFC. His style, not a lot to watch on him. Couldn't find much. But what I did find looks to be a standard smothering Sambo fighter. Nothing too crazy there. Just has a really good combat Sambo background and can clearly get it done over the course of 3 rounds. His opponent is Isakhmaev. He was 19-2 in a bunch of different regional scene promotions. He joins ONE FC, then goes 3-0 there, debuted in the UFC, and had a split decision loss against Nicholas Dalby. He has been training with Islam Makhachev, though. He was kind of one of his main training partners as Islam was about to go up to 170. His style, above average grappler, good submission ability. That's where he shines, is his submission ability for sure. Pops the jab well in his stand-up. The overall cardio and urgency, just fight IQ in general, did look questionable in his debut. My prediction for this one, I'll take Abukar to get it done via decision. There's not a lot to go on with this one, you guys. I think Vagayev will probably just wrestle fuck him. Maybe Said can find a submission. Please don't bet on this. I don't like anything about this one. The fight go the distance is a pretty good bet because both of these guys have seen tons of decisions. So that at -365 makes plenty of sense. Go ahead and take the under on your fun while watching this one. Why is this kicking off the main card? This is terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe these guys will entertain, but I doubt it. But regardless, I'll take Abukar to get it done via decision, as he typically likes to do. Rizvan Kuniev versus Tyrell Fortune is up next. Rizvan Kuniev came into the Dana White Contender Series on an 8-fight unbeaten streak where he got a round 3 finish, but no contract. Then he gets a win and then a no contest. It was a win, overturned to no contest because he was juicing. This man was on roids in the PFL. Then he gets another shot on the Contender Series where he won and got a contract. Since then, he's 1-1 in the UFC, coming off of a pretty abysmal win against Jailton Almeida in one of maybe the worst fights I've ever seen. Had an L to Curtis Blades in a split decision, which was a pretty close fight. So this guy's fought pretty good competition in his 2 fights and has held his own decently well. His style has very good anti-grappling and forces exchanges on that allows him to force exchanges on the feet. Painfully low output, but has fast hands and good combos. This guy's a pretty talented striker. He just doesn't have the urgency or internal clock to just go. I think he could actually be a pretty decent finisher and a much better fighter if the IQ and urgency was just a little bit better. But regardless, his opponent, Tyrell Fortune, he was on a good run in Bellator before bouncing around promotions a little bit. Finally gets his short-nosed debut in the UFC against Marcin Tybura. Immediately wins and gets a ranking. He's also a JUCO national champion wrestler. His style had a very weak performance on short notice where he showcased his wrestling skill, but gassed out pretty quickly. Marcin Tybura, I thought, actually won the fight, despite it being a unanimous decision. And yeah, I'm probably coping a little bit because I picked him to lose, but I did think in the moment that Marcin Tybura won. His stand-up is very basic, looks to take the fight to the mat, though, land ground and pound. But even against high-level wrestlers, he struggled against wrestling. So athleticism is definitely I don't want to say his best friend, but athleticism is definitely what separates him from being a blob or a terrible heavyweight fighter. Not overly skilled in any aspect of fighting, but I think the athleticism definitely shines. My prediction for this one, give me Rizvan Kuniev to get it done via decision. Kuniev moneyline at minus 305 makes plenty of sense. I'm not that high on Tyrell Fortune. I don't think he's very good. I actually see this one going really similar to the Curtis Blades fight, except I think Kuniev will come out on top. I think Tyrell Fortune is going to try and shoot a bunch of takedowns. Kuniev won't let it happen. And then on the feet, Kuniev just going to do just enough to get it done via decision, where I see him probably landing the better shots and taking a decision in this one. Kuniev moneyline, like I said, at minus 305 is pretty good value. And the under on Tyrell Fortune takedowns, I don't think he's going to get a single one. Kuniev's takedown defense is really good. He only gave up 1 takedown against Curtis Blades, who is a much better wrestler, in my opinion, than Tyrell Fortune. So give me Rizvan Kuniev to get it done via decision. This will be kind of a meh one. Not super looking forward to it, but regardless, it should be a decent fight. I might shed a tear, you guys. We've made it. The debut. Magomed Zaynukov is here. Magomed Zaynukov versus Damian Rzepecki. Zaynukov, this guy, Chanko, 2-time professional Muay Thai champion. Chanko. No Jean Pork. Chanko. Coached by Khabib at Team Eagle. Became famous after his really good Dana White Contender Series win. He's an 8-0 prospect. We already know why he's popular. This guy, no Jean Pork. No Jean Pork. Chanko. No Jean Pork. His style, high-paced, volume Muay Thai striker that loves the front kick, throws that stabbing front kick constantly. At least in the Contender Series fight, he let that thing rip like 20 times. Wrestles with Khabib and Islam every day. There's just no way this man can't grapple. I'm really high on this guy. Like, outside of like the John Pork meme, fun stuff, and like just outside of all that, I actually think he's has a bright future. For him to have the Muay Thai striking background that he does, and then for him to be training with who he's with, like I said, I don't think there's any way that this guy can't grapple. And he's also got really good striking clearly as well. He did get slightly chinned in his Dana White Contender Series fight, and that worries me just a tad. But his opponent, Damian Rzepecki, 10-0 undefeated prospect from the regional scene, 9 finishes in 10 fights. Now he's making his UFC debut as well. He's nicknamed the Butcher. And in a fight against John Pork, that is scaring me a little bit. It's just, Matt, nickname-wise, I don't love it. I don't love it, to say the least. His style, crisp boxer, really good KO power, and does great work to the body as well. He struggled a bit early in his most recent fight against the wrestling of his opponent, but historically has had pretty good takedown defense and cardio, though. Really good boxing, though. That's where this guy that's where this guy shines. Doesn't do necessarily a great job of fighting from range. Kind of looks to enter, slowly walk people down with that boxing style. Again, does very good body work. My prediction for this one, give me Shanko to get it done via decision. Zaynukov moneyline at minus 300. Is that a bit inflated? Maybe. I do think he is very good. Rzepecki is really good. I hope I'm saying that right. I know he's Polish, so it's who knows how you say it, but he is a really good prospect. But I think Zaynukov will do a lot more volume-wise. His volume that he showed, I think he set a significant strike record for a 3-round fight on the Contender Series. So I think the overall just striking ability and volume will get it done for Zaynukov in this one. I like the strikes over for Magomed Zaynukov and the fight to go over 2.5 rounds as well. Yeah, these guys both have finishes, but for some reason I just see this one playing out. I don't see either of these guys going out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I kind of see this one going the distance. He's here, you guys. Enjoy it. This will be a fun one. And outside of all the jokes, this is actually a really good prospect at 155. If he goes out and performs, we might be talking about like a top 20 guy. Not obviously, he's not going to be fighting in the rankings next, but this guy's already a massive name, and I think the UFC knows that. So if he goes out and performs, I'm going to be really excited to see what's next for him. Hopefully he does get it done. I've got him getting it done via decision in this one. The feature bout on the card, Islam Dulatov versus Wellington Turman. Islam Dulatov, he's a Gucci model by day, UFC fighter by night. Not joking, he is literally a Gucci model. Lost his first ever pro fight. Since then, he's been on a 12-fight win streak. 11 of those, or all 12 of those are finishes. 11 of those finishes come in round one. He's one of the best prospects in the UFC despite only having one fight. Fought Adam Fugit, who he knocked out in round one, and even took Ty Miller a little bit to finish Adam Fugit, who I don't think is like a complete can. This is definitely a step down from Adam Fugit for sure. Islam Dulatov, his style, he's a lethal, accurate, lengthy striker with so many weapons, loves to mix it up, uses his elbows really well, the knees, has good takedown defense and overall lower body strength control. He will keep the fight standing. He also has some sneaky submission ability in there. I think he has a couple of guillotine wins in his career. His opponent, Wellington Turman, gets a shot on the UFC after a 7-2 run on the regional scene. Been quite the can in the UFC so far, going 4-6, getting finished 3 times, and he has not fought in 3 years. They are bringing in a lamb for slaughter in this one, in my opinion. He's on a 3-fight losing streak and probably getting cut here soon. His style has good BJJ, I guess. That's about it. He's been quite the victim. Struggles from range on the feet. Looks to clinch, get damage off there while looking for takedowns. He also trains with Glover Teixeira, I think, as well. Maybe they've been cooking for the last 3 years with this guy, but I doubt it. My prediction for this one, pretty simple stuff here. Give me Islam Dulatov to get it done via round 1 KO. If anything else happens, it is going to be not a loss, but Dulatov needs to finish this one in round 1 to make a statement. Anything outside of that will be conceived as not his best performance. Not only will he be frame-mogging the fuck out of his opponent, he's probably going to beat the shit out of him as well. Dulatov round 1 KO at minus 120 is the only thing that makes sense because Dulatov is a minus 1,000 favorite. I don't even like putting a Wellington Turman money line, anything like that. I think he is god-awful. This should be a really easy win for Dulatov, and it should be a great way for him to hopefully segue into a ranked fight after this. I mean, this guy, like I said, is a really good prospect in welterweight. It's just kind of tough because I don't know if he's fully committed to MMA quite yet because of his modeling career. So it's tricky, but this will be a fun one for sure. I think he'll get an entertaining win, and it should spark up the card, take us into the co-main and main event in hopefully a good way. So give me him to get it done via round 1 KO. For some reason, the co-main event is Steve Erceg and Ramazan Temirov. I love me some Steve Erceg. I really do. Not sure why this is the co-main event, though. But regardless, Steve Erceg goes on a huge run in the regional scene before joining the UFC, rolls his way to a title shot against Pantoja, where he actually had a pretty competitive fight. Ends up losing, though, and then loses his next 2 as well. All to really good competition, Brandon Moreno and Kai Kara-France. Has bounced back nicely, though, with 2 straight wins over pretty solid opponents as well. He beat Tim Elliott in his most recent fight on the Perth card, or the Perth fight night, JDM versus Prates. His style, very technical and crisp boxer, throws really good combos, has good hand speed, is able to use his takedown defense to keep the fight standing. Really crafty stuff, though. He's very sound defensively. He doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. He's just a really clean, tough guy, for sure. His opponent, Ramazan Temirov, went on a 17-2 run on the regional scene with some wins in Ryzen before debuting in the UFC in 2024. Since then, he's gone 2-0 in the UFC. Has a win over Charles Johnson. This is his first time fighting, though, in over a year because he was caught juicing. What is with these guys in the juice? Get off the juice. Jesus Christ, look at him. Clearly, this guy was on steroids. My God, we needed a piss test to figure that shit out. My God, this guy weighs 97 pounds, and he has 1 0.2% body fat. Shit. His style, very quick karate style fighter, good KO power, moves well on his feet, but slows down as the fight progresses for sure. Being off roids will affect you. We saw it with Alvin Hines last week. Will it affect him the same way? I think so. My prediction for this one, I'm actually going to take Steve Erceg to get it done via decision. Erceg moneyline -110. Not sure why the odds are this close. I think Steve Erceg is a clear better fighter than Ramazan Temirov, especially off the juice. Like, there's so many unknowns with Temirov, so many knowns with Steve Erceg. This guy has been in competitive fights with the best of the best in the division. And Temirov had like a war with Charles Johnson, who is a good fighter, but he's not Pantoja or Brandon Moreno. Temirov obviously can still get it done via KO. I think that's his only path to victory. It's kind of landing one of those, I don't want to say wild shots, but he's got the speed advantage. He moves really well. So there's a world where he lands a big shot and knocks out Steve Erceg. I don't see it happening, but there is a world where that happens. And the fight to go the distance at -140 makes sense. I like Steve Erceg a lot in this one. Give me him to get it done via decision. Our main event, Magomed Ankalaev versus Bogdan Guskov. Magomed Ankalaev. Yes, he was supposed to fight Khalil Roundtree in this one. He is a former UFC light heavyweight world champion. Beat Proton when he had norovirus. Everybody knows it was a fake win. Got the paper belt. Then Pereira came back down and whooped his ass in the rematch. Knocked him out in round 1. Outside of the fluke loss, though, to Paul Craig that he had, he got caught in like a triangle in a fight that he was winning dominantly. In the literal last second of the fight, he tapped out. He's won 12 of 14 fights, has a no contest and a draw in there, but really hasn't lost in the UFC outside of the fluke and then the Alex Pereira loss. He is one of the best light heavyweights in the world. His style, he's a very tricky striker that moves really well, makes it tough for his opponents to kind of hunt him down. Stays unpredictable, loves controlling the pace of the fight, has really great footwork. In the striking pattern, just everything that he does, he is able to dictate the pace of the fight. Will shamelessly hold his opponents up against the cage to try and, again, just dictate the overall pace of the fight. He is not this, like, incredibly boring control grappler like most people may think he is. He actually does have a striking background. He's just still not very entertaining. And I think that's why a lot of people don't like him, myself included. His opponent, Bogdan Guskov, stepping in on short notice. He, like I said, it was supposed to be Khalil Roundtree. Bogdan Guskov was scheduled to fight next week. He ends up stepping in. I think he's like the 12th ranked fighter. If he's able to get this one done, it's going to be the biggest one of his career by far. He debuted in the UFC with an L, but then rattled off 4 straight finishes. Drew with Jan Blachowicz in his last fight and is now escaping the rematch that was scheduled for last week by stepping in here. His style, he will look slow, outclassed, and honestly not that skilled, but then he'll find one big shot and the entire fight changes. He has so much power. He's just a power puncher, really. And he's able to smell blood in the water, find a finish as soon as it's like I said, as soon as he smells blood in the water, he's able to find the finish. Just struggles defensively. Even in the last fight, I think it was a great summary of who he is as a fighter. He literally lost rounds 1 and 3, but because he was able to find a big shot against Blachowicz in round 2, he 10-8'd the round and was able to find a draw. Almost finished Blachowicz. But outside of that one moment that he had, he got his ass kicked. And so it's just a matter of if you think he's going to find the shot or not. My prediction for this one, I don't think he's going to find that shot. I've got Magomed Ankalaev getting it done via decision. 2 pretty good betting outcomes, though, value-wise. Ankalaev decision at +325 and Guskov KO at +700. What are we doing at Guskov KO at +700? His money line's +400. The KO line should be +450. That's about the only way I think he's going to be able to get it done. I just think the footwork and class of Ankalaev will be tough for Guskov to just kind of back him down and get off shots that he wants to. Even Pereira struggled to find shots, especially in that first fight. I think it'll be the same story for Guskov. The cardio is a question here. Guskov hasn't fought in 5 rounds. Magomed Ankalaev's fought 5 rounds, I think, plenty of times before. Could be super entertaining. If Guskov gets it done via KO, it will be a pretty impressive card. I don't have overall high hopes for this card, but if Guskov is able to put the cherry on top with a KO, finishing Ankalaev and putting him way outside of title contention so that he never sniffs the belt again, that'd be wonderful. That would be a wonderful outcome. I just don't think it's going to get it done. I've got Ankalaev getting it done via decision. Okay, to recap everything betting-wise, high-value straights, things that have really great odds that I think you can put low amounts of money on, $3, $4, $5, potentially pay for the entire night's of bets. Guskov KO at plus 700, Ankalaev decision, Ribeiro sub, Davis moneyline, and Temirov KO. Like all those, as putting small amounts of money on those. Parlay legs, love Zaynukov and Sola. Just those two together will get you to plus 100. That's a great bet right there. Just those two together. A Sam Patterson money line, Walter Walker money line, and Islam Dulatov KO. We'll see about the Walter Walker money line. I'm just super high on Walter Walker, and I think not necessarily that. It's the combination of that and me being low on Thomas Peterson that's making me put that here. And then a Dulatov KO. It's how he's won all 12 of his fights, or not all 12, but a majority of his 12 fights that he's on a streak with, and he's facing a complete can. It's kind of written in the stars. This is what's supposed to happen for him. It's a bit of a layup. So I like all of those things. It's a tough card betting-wise to find a whole lot of value just because there's so many heavy favorites. But I like these the most. I was able to hunt these out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will get a recap video out. And next week, I'm actually going to break down the PFL co-main and main event because they're two pretty good fights. And I'm kind of excited about that. So it'll be like a longer video next week. But I'm excited for it. I think it'll be cool. Maybe get some other videos out as well. Hopefully you guys like this. Sorry I missed the recap of last week. I made the video for it, just couldn't find the time to record it. This one's going to be coming out late. The card's not until 9 in the morning, so hopefully you can watch this in time. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. See ya!